Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This article that I have here, it's about women and how they are given an opportunity to do something that would be considered by these guys here a breaking of a glass ceiling. That means they are, open to more opportunities. But I'm afraid that this breaking of a glass ceiling, it's a good thing, but it creates more problems that it solves. So that's the analogy I always use regarding these kind of situations when, the first rule for a doctor is the Hippocratic, rule or law, do no harm, or, don't make it worse than it was before you got to the situation. So if you have, let's say, a splinter in your finger, you don't cut the hand off. Yeah, you solve the problem of the splinter, but you cut the hand off. So don't create more problems by solving that problem. This article here, I think, does, or at least they talk about this kind of situation where you create a problem, a bigger problem of an existential problem, actually, by breaking the glass ceiling. So let me read you this article and discuss it. This article comes from the New Voice of Ukraine from August 14th, 2022. How enlisted women are smashing through glass ceilings in Ukraine's armed services. Probably you know exactly where I'm going with this. They are celebrating the fact that you have now women that are going to be exposed to death more than usual. And they are happy about it because they have the opportunity to die, okay, and defend their country in the meantime, which is, that's great. The problem is this: if you have one woman left on this planet and the rest are men, we're done. You would say, well, who cares? Well, okay, that might be that person's desire or opinion. Good for that person. The problem is, I'm talking about values here. I'm talking about reality. So that the humankind will go extinct. If you are for that kind of direction, okay, then this article is for you to celebrate. The other option is you have one man and women, a lot of women. Then that man potentially and realistically can impregnate all the women, or how many times he can, create what he can create, and impregnate women when they are ready. Therefore, the human race would not go extinct. So if you're for this kind of normality, which is a perpetuation of species, living and evolving, if you want, then this is your article that you should not celebrate. The thing is, they will get women over there. There was a reason why and not only but we're talking about our culture, our civilization, whenever it was a war, whenever it was a situation, an emergency, like let's say everybody's very familiar with the Titanic, but nobody looks into Gustav shelling by the Soviet submarines in the Baltic Sea. Just look in that one. It was much, much, much more and much, much, much horrible than the Titanic. The Titanic is done by these guys because it looks good for some people who have an empty somewhere something. But look at Wilhelm Gustav, and it was destroyed, I think, in 1945 in the Baltic Sea by a by a Soviet submarine. And I think that the guy in charge of the submarine had a Romanian name. Might have been probably from Moldova, who knows. But anyway, so in those kinds of emergencies, our people used to save certain kind of groups, which was the children, the next generation, to be able to perpetuate the tribe, the family, and the women. And old men were yes and no, but men were not necessarily, saved. So the women and children. Why? Because At that time, our civilization still had the idea of identity and belonging to a tribe, belonging to this, having this culture, this history, these particularities, and so on. And they tried to fight for them. Nowadays, they try to disperse that. And with women fighting in wars and all that, will diminish that, how should I say, consciousness of a tribe, of a, human race, if you want, humankind. I don't care, same thing for me. But here you have the breaking of a ceiling. Okay, that's fine. But if they're so concerned about the breaking of a ceiling, which this article talks about, how now in the Ukrainian army, before it was, just man, which I think it was proper in a way that, you don't want the women to be on the front over there for various reasons. The main one is extinction. That's the main one. Now they're happy about it because we broke the ceiling. Okay, and I know where that goes, because from this breaking of a ceiling, it goes to proportionality. That means women are 51% in the society usually, so there should be 51% of the fighting force. You have this number of generals, 51 must be female, which if they're able, I don't care if they're midgets or if they're whatever you want to call them, little people or fat people, or I don't care. But if we divide things in the society by groups and membership, then we got a big problem, because we have so many groups that we can divide people into, they will not have enough people. Let's say you have 10 generals. That's it. That's how much you have. And we can divide all those 10 generals in so many groups in a society, like tall people, one group, and small people, right? Height. Then we can divide it by weight. Fat, thin, whatever, another group. Color of the eyes, I don't know, length of the nose, I don't know, length of something else, abilities, female, male, or man, woman, there's so many cultural things that you have in a society, light skin, dark skin, that you don't have more than 10. What are you going to do? Because you're going to have a group, let's say if you have a transgender, what's the percentage in a society? 0 point something. Okay, 0 point something of 10, how much is that? 0 point something over general. How are you going to accommodate it? How are you going to accommodate it? You're going to put one transgender. But if you put one transgender, you're going to have only 9, and you have 50 groups. So that's stupidity. So coming back to this, if they want really to break ceilings and make it like this, I would suggest then that they have to cut the proportionality of women that are way overrepresented by their craziness in certain fields like education, medical, clerical. And then we have to fire a lot of them and hire, let's say, men for the beginning, right? 49% men and so on. So you got a problem on your hand if you think like this. And besides, I think women, they should do whatever they want. But on the other hand, you have to think about a society as a family, extended family. If you just want to go extinct, all right, go for it. But there would be others, they don't. And we're not friends here. You think we're friends? Oh my God, we're friends. This nation and that nation. No. If the nations don't have armies, that's the reason why they have armies. I mean, there are like three countries on this planet that don't have armies, right? Then what are you going to do here? Or maybe more. It doesn't matter. It's still a tiny minority. If the United States will not have an army tomorrow, no weapons, what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? I don't have to tell you that it's going to be invaded overnight by whomever, and then where's the friendship? They're just going to show up here. What are they going to do? They're going to take everything you got. And they is everybody from outside. Regardless if they're this, south, north, across the Atlantic, across the Pacific, in the Caribbean. Why not? Because that's the way we are. So you need armies to defend something. What do you defend? Your property. How your property was created. By your family, right? By your group. Okay, you created this country, which is an artificial created country. Nothing has been like this. It was Australia, and then you got Canada. That's a tiny, tiny, tiny minority on this planet, how these countries were formed, compared with any other country. So this is not the rule. The others are the rule. And see how it works. Talk to, let's say, to guys from Zimbabwe and tell them, hey, women have to be in the military. All right. And not only that. I'm for, go and get into whatever field you want. But remember, when you celebrate this, it's an remember the splinter and the hand. Yeah, you celebrate the splinter that it's gone, but also your hand is going to be gone. Or maybe you just cut your head off. You got a little splinter here, you cut your head off, you die, obviously, but the splinter is gone. It used to be that kind of joke, when the doctor comes to the room where the family of the patient waits for the operation, for the surgery, and the doctor comes, takes his gloves off to say, hey, doctor, how was it? Well, the surgery was successful, but the patient did not survive. So everything was great. All the procedure was perfect, but the subject died. So the whole thing was for the patient to survive. I don't care if your policy was followed. The point was that to survive, not you to follow the policy. Well, this is how it's ran in this country, especially, in certain departments. They care more about the policy than to the goal of the policy. The policy doesn't serve the goal anymore that they were created. The policy was created to achieve something. Now those things are the slaves of the policy. We want to make sure the policy is followed. It doesn't matter what's the outcome. If it's good or bad, the policy must be followed. Stupid. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.